Hello, my sweeties. How are you all? This is my last night at White House Landing, and I didn't know how much of you guys know anything about White House Landing, but in the early 1990s, I was working at a hospital in Burlington, Vermont, and I was doing, my brother and I have always fished together. From the time we were very little, our dad taught us. I think I caught my first trout when I was 2. And it went on from there. Our only legitimate out from being sent up the street to go to Sunday school was if we could get out of the house quietly without waking our parents up and ride our bikes and go dig worms and take our fishing poles and go fishing in the local brooks. It was a great time to grow up in a little tiny town in Massachusetts, and I remember those days so fondly. And then when we both became adults, my brother was a chimney sweep and I was a medical technologist in the lab in Burlington, Vermont, and we used to get together several times during the fishing seasons, including ice fishing and spring fishing and stream fishing and boat fishing, any kind of fishing, and we loved to do it. And one day I was to meet him on this range of lakes that I'd never been to before, called the Pemmidomcook Chain, for Memorial Day weekend. It was an absolutely fabulous weekend. We camped at a place called White Horse Island out on the lake here, and it was 85 degrees on a Memorial Day weekend, and the fishing was fabulous. Salmon, lake trout, brook trout. And a couple times we came up here to this northwest end of the lake, on Pemmidomcook Lake, and a stream comes out here, as you've probably noticed in the pictures. It's called Namacanta Stream, and it comes down here from Namacanta Lake, which is about 6 miles up. Very nice walk on the Appalachian Trail to go over to the other side of the stream and walk up to Namacanta Lake, and that whole stream is brook trout fishing. So we went up there and had a grand time and came out, and my brother said, "Hey, there's that camp that's for sale," because there was a real estate sign on the pine tree out here. And I said, "What camp that's for sale?" And he came 2 days before I did to get the camp set up and all that kind of stuff, and came out to get me in a pretty good wind event that was very exciting. And we came out here, and unbeknownst to me before that, when he had come up into the mouth of the stream to fish the day before, he had seen the for sale sign, and he looked at it and he took a whole view of the camp and honed in on the real estate sign and said, "Look at that, wilderness camps for sale, 100 and something thousand." And he said, "I'll take it." Well, little did anybody know. I mean, he knew apparently, because after I got back to Vermont, about a week later, he called me from here and said, "Candy, I called about those camps. You want to buy them with me?" And I couldn't envision any circumstance under which that would happen. But he was so eager, and it was hard not to catch his enthusiasm. Well, my brother's a very enthusiastic person, and I have to admit, living here, who wouldn't say yes? Who wouldn't say yes? So I took a break from my med tech career, and we did all the legwork and drew up a business plan. And of course, nobody would loan us any money, but good old Mom had saved all her alimony all the years that she was divorced from my dad, and she had what made a really pretty good investment down payment on this place. And so Mom helped us into it, and it really is just such an exquisite place. It turned out that I wasn't really built for this life. I've always lived more of a life of the mind, although I did all kinds of activities outdoors and snowshoed, snowmobiled, fished, hiked, camped, rode horses, just anything you can imagine. That scuba dived, anything that made a good outdoor activity. I loved doing it, but I wasn't the sort of person to make my living that way. After a while, I missed the intellectual challenge presented by my career in the medical laboratory, and I think it was just meant to be that way. I think I was meant to help Bill get started, and then I went out for a couple of seasons to be a traveling med tech, and realized that that kind of life was really the life for me. Well, at the end of the second time that I went out to do travel teching, Bill and Linda had met each other, and Linda is exactly the kind of person to do these camps with Bill, and she's been doing them all except the first 4 years, and that was in 1992 that Bill and I came in as owners. Linda joined up in 1996, so in 2026 she will have been here 30 years, and the camps will have been here, 90, 2000, well, wait a minute, they've already been, from 92 till 2022 was 30 years. So, yeah, 30 years. Going on, let's see, 30, yeah, in 2026, it'll be 35 years here. So, I'm sorry, my brain gets caught up in the math. But anyway, so as you can see, they've had just, those two Energizer bunnies have made this place the place that it was always meant to be. And beehives, and they grow their own pork, they grow their own chicken. They unexpectedly fell in love with their beef critter. So she's going to be a mama, and the babies will be for food. They'll have a beef critter probably every 2 or 3 years. We're hoping that Bella's going to produce the first one next year. And it's just blueberries, apples, wild asparagus, their garden. They grow a huge garden, freeze all their own vegetables. And the place is just, it's beyond charming. It's such a fun place to be. And it has ended up being instrumental in, for as short a time as I've been able to spend here, it's really been key in terms of my recovery from my lung transplant. This is the place that last year when I came here, and it had been a year and a half, this is the first place that I really didn't have paved everything everywhere. It made a tremendous difference in my energy, my strength and my balance, because my balance was really affected by 9 years of not really being able to do much of anything. So, of course, I'm getting the hiccups. Isn't that just like the hiccups to show up when you're doing something like this? But I should wrap up anyway. Tomorrow I leave. This year I came already with the strength that I had built last year, and there are a few challenging things here that have been not anywhere near as much problem. And I've built more strength climbing stairs and climbing the hills and walking back to the barn to see the animals every day. And it's just been a pure delight, an absolute pure delight. I'm in love with the people, of course, being my wonderful family, and I'm in love with the place. And this was a perfect mid-trip break to get rid of my cold. And now the last 3 weeks of getting from here to LA, and then in LA 2 weeks of visiting, and then up the coast of California, to go and have Thanksgiving with Russ and Cheryl and circuit riders flying out, and then home from there. And I expect to arrive at my home November 30th. Today is October 19th. Tomorrow's the 20th. I'm looking forward to the schedule is packed. I'm getting to see so many people. And I just want to say again, if you are one of the people who hasn't spoke up yet and you'd like to have coffee or dinner or anything with me, and let me give you a hug to thank you for your friendship and for all your prayers during my lung transplant. I hope you're as pleased as I am with my progress. I can tell you it feels really good, and I remember every single one of you who prayed for me. And if we never get to hug in real life, I'll be sad. I'm going to do another one of these trips in 2 years, and it's going to follow a different path so that I can, some of the same. I'll be coming to Maine, but I'm also going to be going routes that I would have gone this time if I'd been able to, and seen people that I wasn't able to see this time. So it's going to happen again. Lord willing, we'll say that, because the Lord leads. He always does, and he never fails us. I love you, people. And I'll post more from the road, which I hit again tomorrow. All right, good night. Time to go have my last supper with my beloveds over at Bill's house. Bye.